Hello, everyone, and we want to welcome you, every one of you viewers, to another podcast of ours of Talking Geek Weekly. I know it's been a while. We've been busy with our own respective schedules, but myself, Wendell, Fred, and Noel are back to give you some more of our takes on some recent news developments. Particularly, what we want to focus on is what Disney Plus has just recently announced with their new slew of both Star Wars and Marvel shows. And with particularly with the Star Wars shows, I'm really myself excited about hearing about what these new shows are going to be about. Particularly, we have the show on Ahsoka Tano coming out. She's got her own solo show. We've got the Rangers of the New Republic coming out, which will presumably feature some spin-off characters from The Mandalorian, that great series which has revitalized the Star Wars franchise in more ways than we could have possibly imagined. And we are so happy for that. And I'm also excited about the new movie that will come in a few years, Rogue Squadron, which is about the X-wing fighters of the Rebel Alliance in the Star Wars universe, to be directed by Patty Jenkins, and that's going to be the very first Star Wars film to be released on the big screen since Episode 9, which came out, and it was very divisive for very obvious reasons. People loved it or loathed it, and I'm kind of in the in between uh, area, so to speak. But me being a lifelong Star Wars fan, I mean, I can't say I'm being or thinking objectively on that matter. But anyhow, I mean, I'm particularly excited with the fact that Disney Plus is planning to create a new universe with of Star Wars with these new shows. And I've you guys have probably been hearing talks about how this new universe on Disney Plus, and I imagine this same thing will be applied with the new Rogue Squadron movie coming out. That the entire sequel trilogy and the events and the characters therein will be totally foregone or totally scrapped in favor of what of the new timeline and the new future universe that this new Star Wars this new series of Star Wars shows is going to be creating. And I myself, initially I thought, well, I don't know if that might be a wise idea, because I thought the sequel trilogy has already been considered canon, even by a lot of people who didn't like the Star Wars sequel trilogy. But then I thought about it much harder again, and I got to the point where I told myself, you know what? I think I've only been I've been in such a state of denial. I've only been kidding myself in saying that the sequel trilogy, for all their faults and for all their drawbacks, can still be forgiven for being what they are, because they're just catering to a new audience and to a new fan base and to a new generation of Star Wars fans. And they're just therefore, I mean, producers and writers who are not Star Wars geeks per se have the liberty to take whatever risks they want to do in order to make these films or these franchise objects, however you would want to call them, more palatable to these new generation of Star Wars fans. But then I've been realizing what they've been doing has been alienating a lot of the Star Wars fan base, and for very good reason. I mean, I mean, look what they did with the OG Core Four in the sequel trilogy. I mean, they killed off Han. Well, spoiler alert for those who didn't see it, but I'm sure you must have had by
I
now.
mean, I think that movie came out 6 years ago, so it's fine.
Yeah,
2015.
we're pretty good on spoilers.
15, yeah.
Yeah.
15. I mean,
Even the last one came out like I think 2 years ago. So I think we're good with all.
okay.
Was it last year or 2 years ago? That was just last year. Sorry.
Just last
the last
year.
one.
They killed off Han, and they killed
This
off
is last
Leia, and
year,
they
yeah.
killed off Luke. And even though they are presumably one with the Force, I mean, that alone, that did much to destroy much of what the Star Wars lore was all about, in paying respect to these core four characters. And yes, even though they kept Lando alive, and presumably he reunited.
Thank God, right, Fred?
Yeah.
It was like, thank God, at least. It was like, oh
Yeah.
no.
They could
Oh
not.
no, they're gonna like behead Lando, but phew. Worst they did is give him a daughter. So that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
At least they
That's
gave him a
fine.
daughter, and
I take that.
I mean they're setting him up to have more adventures. But to be honest, guys, with
Yeah.
that announcement of how this new Star Wars universe, Ahsoka, Rangers of the New Republic, and even Rogue Squadron, or that other new show called the Acolyte, if I'm not mistaken, I'm actually.
Right. Yeah.
You know what?
No idea what that one's about.
I actually feel quite hopeful that they would be setting up a new universe that would totally scrap the timeline events of the.
It's the Old Republic,
trilogy.
right?
And, yes, I mean these are not
that
the
it,
Old
or-
Republic. We're talking this new series. These new Star Wars series will depict events that happened at the end of Return of the Jedi. So we're talking about post.
Right. Okay. You're talking about
Empire,
those ones.
yes.
Okay.
Post Empire, pre New Order, pre First
Order.
Excuse me.
First Order.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're gonna. So these shows.
No one cares.
Yeah. I mean, the Mandalorian has successfully, been depicting characters and events set in the timeline of the post Empire, pre New Order.
What is that,
of
like
the galaxy?
50 years? Is it like 50 years
About
between
50,
Return and?
I mean, I think the
something like
timeline
that?
duration.
I forget.
From what I understand, the timeline duration of the end of the Empire until the rise of the First Order is some 20 to 25 years or so. So
At least 25 years.
yes,
Okay.
yes. So yeah,
Yeah, that's a good amount of years for
I mean,
stories. Sure.
So honestly, guys, I mean, I'm really excited about or hopeful that of what Disney Plus's plan is to scrap the timeline events of the sequel trilogy. Kind of like how now going back to what the Terminator franchise has dealt with the principle of there is no fate but what we make of it. And I think that same concept could apply to this new Star Wars verse, and that nothing in the sequel trilogy could technically be set if the characters and heroes of this new Disney Plus Star Wars series.
I see you, Fred. I see you.
Could do something to alter the future verse so that we could never.
There you go. He said the thing.
So that we could never have a Palpatine being resurrected. Just out of the blue. And
honestly, just to jump in with that, I have no problem.
Yeah, Noel,
with Palpatine being resurrected, but it's just the rest of it is just like honestly, had no problem with Palpatine being resurrected. It's just most of the other stuff is just like
I mean, but no. Now, Noel, I want to ask you, how do you feel about the other new characters, like particularly Rey? Rey was being, set up, particularly in Force Awakens, as being the female face of the new.
They did all
those
those 4 characters because they were fine. What was the first one? Force Awakens. They were fine.
Yes.
I actually liked them. I actually liked Force Awakens, and I love it. Like I don't like it nearly enough as most of the other ones. Probably not even as much as the prequel trilogy. But like I liked it. It was like it's fine. It's
like
it's
Force
fine
Awakens too. I thought Force Awakens.
Yeah.
It was quite a solid, above par homage to the Star Wars lore altogether, but as a way of being construed as a expanded saga, I don't think it. Well, it didn't perform as exceedingly well as it could have, and I put a lot of the blame on how Rian Johnson just kind of.
Sorry.
He threw out same way.
Yeah, that's the first thing that happens in that movie, right?
Same thing what Luke did to
it's like
that saber out of.
It's that's a reason that's like the first shot of that movie.
After
like,
that saber and he threw
it
out.
No, I'm not kidding.
I mean, Rian Johnson did more or less did the same thing when he totally disregarded whatever lore construct that J.J. Abrams helped to initiate.
He's not shy about it too. He even says such in interview. It's not like a rumor or whatever.
And then he did. He went on to do his own thing to to bring everybody more or less appear as if they were out of character or as if they were not quite the same person they were in the previous film. I mean, it wasn't done totally to that extent, but I kind of felt
it's not a stretch.
Yeah,
Let's say it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I mean the whole the whole writing, plot writing, character approach difference was quite obvious with the end product, and then JJ basically made episode 9
I
as
tried to fix it, but it was like
it was
he tried.
it was almost like an
He
outward
tried.
form of apology to fans for what Ryan Johnson did in episode 8. And now, guys, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I did enjoy watching the sequel trilogy, and I will watch them again. You know, just to do some
Oof, you're better man than I am.
to see uh, where where did these series of films go right and where did they go wrong. But
Okay, so
but I think,
like I mentioned, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
so I was going to say, when all is said and done, I think the best legacy the sequel trilogy will ever leave is setting up more or less a bar of what, or a role model of what Lucasfilm should not do in terms of expanding the lore. Exactly. See,
We spent $10 billion
I mean,
to show you what not to do.
right? Don't you agree? I mean,
That's
aren't
the
you?
most expensive infomercial ever.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
it's
like I don't like thinking about it like that, but again, it's not a stretch what you're saying, Wendell.
Yes.
well, I'll jump in, guys. I'll jump in. So
Okay, go ahead.
what I was thinking when I heard Wendell talk about this is I hear a lot of that because I think this is really going to be later classified. I'll coin it as the Mandalorian effect, because you have the Mandalorian come in with what's the guy, Happy Hogan,
John Favreau.
John Favreau.
John
So
Favreau. Yep.
John Favreau comes in and he saved Star Wars because
Him and Dave
I
Filoni.
think him and
Swoops
Dave
in like
Filoni.
that guy from another universe.
Right. So he had brought back the nostalgia, because I think for a long time people were thinking, all right, the core Star Wars film, the original OG trilogy, is awesome. And it's awesome because it introduced special effects on a whole other level. So a lot of people thought maybe that, I mean, so much so that like it launched George Lucas's special effects company. He needed to create a company just for the special effects. So people were thinking, okay, maybe that's why Star Wars was so awesome. So I was thinking to myself, okay, maybe since there are no more technological fields to cross, we have arrived as far as motion pictures and special effects. Maybe that's why the sequel trilogy isn't that great. But after watching The Mandalorian, Dave Filoni and John Favreau, I realized it was never about the special effects. It was about the storytelling.
Exactly.
And The Mandalorian far exceeded. Yeah. But you know, but a lot of us fans that want to stay Star Wars positive, that didn't want to trash the new stuff, we like Wendell was saying, we kind of lied to ourselves. But I think The Mandalorian, The Mandalorian really brought back that, no, this is what you're missing. You can bring in a new audience. You can increase diversity that represents, you know, the new viewer base. You can push special effects. I mean, the whole Mandalorian, the reason why we had new shows is because they had that new LCD screen. I think we did an episode about that. And it's just
I think so. I hope we did.
They're pushing boundaries. So it clicks. The Mandalorian hits all the boxes. It is,
and then some.
Yeah, it honors the old traditions and makes you really enjoy everything from the original trilogy onward. So that it leaves nothing behind.
Yes.
And it pushes the boundaries of technological development, which is what Star Wars has always done for the world. It's like, we're going to tell you a story, and we're going to increase Hollywood's capacity to do so.
You know what it does?
Yeah.
It makes you want to be in that galaxy far, far away.
Which
is what the original trilogy did. Like, I want to go there. I want to like meet these aliens and ride in these things.
That's the thing.
And then when Mandalorian comes along, it does exactly that. Like, I want to be in these places and meet
everything
these people.
Felt so tangible, right? I mean, everything felt as if you were there.
You want to be there.
Yes.
Prequel trilogy kind of 50-50, but
Wendell, what were you saying, Wendell?
I was saying, I mean, everything in the show and the Mandalorian feels so tangible. I mean, you really feel as if you're there, and it doesn't feel too. things don't feel too fake shop. And yeah, I mean, well, spoiler alert for those who have not seen the finale of season 2 Mandalorian. I mean,
Spoilers.
people will talk about how that Luke looked so fake and didn't look real. But
It's better than Rogue One. Is
me,
what I
you know
said
what?
in my reaction.
For me,
it was better
felt-
than Rogue One.
young Luke still very much felt there. He felt, and Noel, like you were saying, young Luke felt so more real than Grand Moff Tarkin did in Rogue One.
Yeah.
I
They had like a couple of years to fix that. Lip syncing was still a bit off, but like everything else I thought was fine.
Yes,
It's just the lip when he talks, it doesn't match up 100%, I thought. But like the rest of it is like perfect, but pretty perfect. I mean, close as they could get.
I think moving forward, there's going to be a Marvel effect because you have Jon Favreau over there now.
Yes.
And Dave Filoni, he's the one that did a lot of the animated stuff. I mean, he was with George Lucas making Clone Wars and making Rebels. And honestly, that is the expanded Marvelization of Lucas, those animated properties. But of course, it's not live action. So you're only going to get a certain fan base. So I think bringing those two over, with Jon Favreau being the
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
These are the people that make Marvel work. Okay. They are the General Grievous.
And Peyton Reed directed the season finale, so he did Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Right. I was actually surprised. I was like, wow.
I think
a team of creative directors with the right vision and the right mindset, and they appreciate the.
I wouldn't say that. What I would say is Marvel Studios has a good team, and I think Disney. Yeah. Bob Iger said, "You know what? Let's get the boys over at Marvel."
Because if we say Disney, we might be also incorporating Kathleen Kennedy in the mix, and
she's still there.
Nothing to do with it. Believe it or not, she is still there. But she's only there as a figurehead, from what I understand. All the creative consultancy. That's all being done between
as long as she signs the checks,
Favreau and George Lucas,
like a real job.
But as far as she's got no
interest
whatsoever in terms.
I think just wrapping it up. I think that we could probably look forward to, with this new Disney announcement, the Marvelization of the Star Wars universe. Now, I wouldn't go as far as saying that the last movies are out of canon, but like we said earlier, there's so much in between room. There's so much after room. There's so many different angles. Like, if you didn't like what was happening during the sequel trilogy, there's a lot of things you didn't see, like Rogue Squadron. Like, there could be things going on as far as like how the fighters were fighting the war. How Boba Fett was fighting, his war on his front. It's like there are different angles to enrich. And I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to enrich the story with true Star Wars. And inject that dry turkey with some basting, So it tastes better.
That's another thing that's making the Mandalorian so great in expanding this new Star Wars universe. I mean, they're not focusing solely on the Skywalker saga alone. They're expanding into different previously unknown territory in terms of characters and the assortment of characters in this universe. Like you've been talking about, how I'm excited to see how Rogue Squadron is going to focus on a cadre of X-wing fighters who have had. I mean, they've done much of their part to contribute to the Rebel Alliance's battle against the Empire and the First Order, as much as the Jedi and as much as the Skywalkers have. So
you know what I'm thinking? I'm hoping that this Rogue Squadron. I didn't read the book, but I'm hoping this new Rogue Squadron feels like a cross between Hot Shots and Starship Troopers.
I'm
hoping we get that kind of,
That's something.
That would be crazy.
That's something
like you get to know them, and then they keep dying, because like in the movies they're always getting blown up. There's like always this rich backstory. They're like, "Hey, Terrence, how was your day?" Well, the wife's pregnant. I was up all night. Terrence is dead. Like it's like they really know each other. They're not like droids, but they keep getting blown up.
Oh my goodness!
So like I want to be like, What happens when they go back to the base? Like, what happens to Terrence's baby?
Because you know,
Yeah, I think it was confirmed that it's like a new thing because Rogue Squadron, I think, like you mentioned, there's like novels and video games about it, but I think they confirmed that it's going to be like a new thing, but about
I mean,
X-wing pilots and stuff.
I got a gut feeling it's going to basically, it's going to be, there's going to be a lot of Top Gun in outer space field.
Yeah,
it's going to be
that's what I thought
have
as well. It's
feel.
like
So we're going to have
Top
our
Gun Star Wars. Yeah.
Goose dying moments. Talk to me, Goose. Talk to me, Goose. Or
Yeah, I like Fred's idea where there's like 12 gooses.
yeah,
It's like
Yeah.
every five. It's like the Suicide Squad, you know?
yeah,
Yeah,
This-
because
this
they get murdered like popcorn. It's just like, it's like
I have
the
a question
droids
for
are
you guys
picking them up.
regarding Rogue Squadron. Do you think it'll star Wedge?
I have a feeling Dennis Lawson, who plays Wedge Antilles, is going to be a flight instructor there. He might be the equivalent.
Okay, flight instructor.
Yeah, kind of like how he might be the equivalent of what Viper was in Top Gun. He might play that Viper role in Rogue Squadron.
That's a good
Because, I
idea.
mean, if because obviously by the end of Return of the Jedi, he was instrumental in helping Lando destroy the second Death Star, and we can imagine he was
Yeah,
promoted.
he is
higher.
the Rogue Squadron
Yeah,
pilot
yeah,
aside
yeah.
from Luke, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. He's
Yeah.
the one who
So-
was given as the most focus, because the original, much of the other OG Rogue Squadron X-wing fighter pilots in Episode 4, Biggs Dark Glider, they all bit the dust early on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because like fans have been wanting like a Wedge Antilles movie or series or something for a while,
Mhm.
and a lot of people
Well-
are thinking maybe this is it.
This could be it. I mean, obviously he's going to be.
Okay.
Well, he could still be he could still be a fighter pilot like he was in
Like CG young Wedge or something.
Yeah.
He's in the helmet.